And we are back for night three. I am so excited, y'all. Like, I don't know about you, but it has really been transformational for me. And some of the testimonies are even starting to roll in about how it's been transformational for other people. Y'all, we done made it to a whole new month. Not everyone made it to this month. Not everyone stayed in their right mind up until this month. And so today we're talking about the audacity to show up unapologetic. We're keeping the momentum from yesterday. So, you know, our saying, may my life never be the same. Type it in the chat. May my life never be the same. We are going in on all things around what it takes to have an uncommon approach for an uncommon grace that brings uncommon speed. I'm going to say that again. We're going in on what it takes to have an uncommon approach for an uncommon grace that brings uncommon speed. People already know the protocol, right? May my life never be the same. We're dropping it in the chat. You know, as I began to like reflect and think about this week and know about this week and pay attention to the timing of this week, I understood that this week is an assignment for us. And the assignment is to build our faith, to move beyond focusing on the facts and reality, to shift to preparing for the promise no matter what. I'm going to say that again. This week's assignment for all of us that are tuning in every single day, that are watching the playback every single day, is to build our faith, to move beyond focusing on the facts and reality, to shift to preparing for the promise no matter what. That means when life hits you in one way, when you see life a certain way, you have to move beyond that and focus on the promise, focus on the plan, because the audacity that it takes to show up and keep going is the faith builder that's happening on the backside. And so, as we begin to think through this, we have to be in this place to know and understand that if we don't have the audacity to show up unapologetically, we're going to be back at that place on Monday that's allowing the enemy to steal our belief, to kill our momentum, and to destroy the promise. I don't know about y'all, but he ain't getting none of my stuff. I feel like I done turned into a gangster this week too. I don't know what that's about, but you know, the testimony will tell on itself. And so here is the one thing that I want to ask you today, and I want you to ponder on as we go through this. Are you willing to take bold risks? Are you willing to take bold risks? And remember, as you're coming in, we're declaring and we're speaking over this month, may my life never be the same. And the reason why I had to ask you that, I was talking with a group of my friends, and we were talking about this woman, and it was just like, she has the audacity to charge how much for what? Like, is she serious? And she was serious. And people were going to pay her for the exact thing. Why? Because she had the audacity to actually believe she was worthy of it. She had the belief to know that she could command such a thing. And so I said, we actually got to take a lesson from this woman. We actually have to see what this woman is really saying and teaching us about what it takes to have the audacity to show up unapologetic, right? Because here's the one thing: you cannot have your future and the desires of your heart without risk, without audacity. And because we are people of faith, this is what we call faith. So faith really is audacity, being a risk taker and living in a place that's beyond reality, because you don't see it right now. You can't feel it right now. You're not experiencing it right now. But your faith, your audacity, your ability to take a risk really pushes you to more. I am in more, we journey to more, you know the thing. And so we really have to think through, why is it people out there with less skill, with less talent, and with less expertise doing more than what we are, making more money than what we're making, having greater impact than what we're having? And that falls into the fact that they just are showing up and believing in themselves with the knowledge that they have, and they're simply owning it. They're showing up, believing in themselves with the knowledge that they have, and they're owning it. That's what audacity is. It's not saying that I'm X, Y, and Z, but whatever I am, I'm going to believe in it and I'm going to own it. So that brings us into today's declaration of, it's my time, it is my moment. Type that in the chat. It's my time, it's my moment. May my life never be the same. It's my time and it's my moment. One of my pastors, because I'm here at New Life, we do extraordinary things, Ephesians 3:20. Dr. Jamon Glenn, he says, we behave according to our beliefs. We behave according to our beliefs. And so if we are not seizing opportunities, if we're not showing up with the audacity and unapologetically, that means we simply don't believe in ourselves. But the bigger question becomes, how is it that you have enough belief for other people, but you don't have enough belief for you? How is it that you can believe in someone else's something, but you can't believe in your something? But that takes us back to last night, right? When we talked about you having to believe that you are the person that could do the thing, you having to believe that you are who God created you to be. And you can do the things that He created you to do. Let's encourage ourselves. Type it again. It's my time. It's my moment. Now, if we're thinking through what it means to move beyond focusing on the facts and reality and shifting to the preparation for the promise, right? There is a shift that has to happen. And we're going to go deeper into that tomorrow. But the shift that has to happen, if you truly believe that it's your time and it's your moment, that means you start preparing for it. That means you start to act like it. That means you stop hiding. That means you don't believe in an inferior version of yourself. That means you take advantage of opportunities. That means you create opportunities for yourself. Who created this moment right now? I did, right? I have the audacity to show up. I have the audacity to put something together. And one of the questions that someone had for me was, Jamila, how did you kind of get to this place? Because it ain't easy. I think ain't may be one of my favorite words. It's not grammatically correct, but I love it and I'm unapologetic about it. And it ain't easy. I oftentimes tell the story, and it's funny that I'm wearing the same shade of green today, where I was sitting on the side of the road trying to figure out how to record my first video. Well, I figured it out, but it was just, I did 10 takes because I was looking for perfection, but perfection was robbing me of my future. Perfection was robbing me of my promise. Perfection was stealing my moment. I had given perfection a permission slip over my life. I had given perfection power over my life and chose to bow down to perfection rather than performing the task that I was assigned to do. And so when I think about this answer, the thing that I think about is the fact that if I know that this is my assignment, if it's given to me from God, I refuse not to obey. How do I show up? How do I figure it out? I refuse not to obey. And for some of you all, you need to be writing that in the chat right now. I refuse not to obey. You've been waiting. And if we go back to Monday and we're thinking about the spiritual warfare and all of those different things, right? We said, I'm experiencing some procrastination. It's unusual for me to procrastinate in this way. It's unusual for me to have this much delay. It's unusual for me to have this experience in my life that I'm having right now. But then you have to turn that mirror back to yourself and say, have I obeyed last month's instruction? Have I obeyed last week's instruction? Because if we walk in spirit and in truth, that means that there are some things that are being downloaded to us. There are some things that are being impressed upon us. And we have to have the audacity, the boldness, and the courage to actually show up and do the thing. And here is the great thing. And I really do appreciate that question that was asked. The great thing is you get better with time. If I had not sat on the road and recorded 1,599 videos, I wouldn't be able to stand up here today and just go live and just do it. Just Nike this thing out the park 3 days in a row. And there's some people right here. I just got through teaching a class on sales. I literally just got through teaching a class on sales that are about to take entrepreneurs so that make sure they're not breaking the neck of their business. Because if you don't have sales, you don't have a business. Right? And so here's another reality. Your past is tied to your comfort, while your future is tied to your audacity. I'm going to say it again. Your past is tied to your comfort, while your future is tied to your audacity. So you have to go in and say to yourself, where am I comfortable? And how is comfortability keeping me in the past? I don't know about you, but I just know that I want more. And whatever it is that I was designed to have, whatever it is that I was created to be, I refuse to settle for a lesser version of myself. And because I refuse to settle, I have to be willing to abandon my comfort zone. And guess what? We're about to hear my favorite word. It ain't easy. It ain't easy to abandon your comfort zone. But these steps of a good man are ordered. So even though I may not run, you best to believe I am going to make a step. I am going to take a step. Go ahead. May my life never be the same. We're speaking this over May. As you come in, we're speaking it again. May my life never be the same. Right? And now we've added on to that. It's my time. It's my moment. May I take advantage of it? It's my time. It's my moment. May I take advantage of it? And on this first day, I'm about to challenge you. If your life looks exactly the same, if your business looks exactly the same, if your sales look exactly the same on May 31st, it's your fault. Because you had the opportunity 31 days to say, may my life never be the same. You had the opportunity to take advantage to say, it's my time, it's my moment. And so, what the audacity to show up unapologetic means, it means one, you are embracing your God given boldness. You do not see Jamila, Janae, Kobanisha. Yeah, they done named me Kobanisha, y'all. Moore standing here today, embracing her God-given boldness through her own strength. Nope. I don't have it. I actually asked God for it all day long. Why? I woke up tired. I'm a night owl. So I'm gonna be up at 1, 2 in the morning. But then I gotta get up, right? And it doesn't take away the fact that, like, I'm just going to show up and do what I've been assigned to do because I refuse to disobey. And if we go back to the start of this, it's about us having an uncommon approach for an uncommon grace that brings uncommon speed. When you embrace your God-given identity and you're boldly walking out your God-given identity, You have an uncommon approach with an uncommon grace that brings uncommon speed. And that speed really takes off suddenly. Everyone type in the chat suddenly. It's not something that comes along and you just like, oh, it's a momentum. No, because the enemy is working hard to steal, kill, and destroy while you're building your momentum, while you're keeping your belief. But suddenly things will shift. Suddenly things will change. Right. So the audacity to show up unapologetic. It also means leading with authenticity to build a unique brand of faith and purpose. Leading with authenticity, meaning that you're just going to be yourself. And the people who are for you will be for you. And the people who are not for you will not be for you. And that is okay, because God could be curating a moment with just a few people. He only wants X, Y, and Z there in this moment, because it's about the transformation and work that he wants to get done through X, Y, and Z. And then lastly, the audacity to show up unapologetic means building a bold voice with confidence. Building a bold voice with confidence. Meaning, I believe more in all the things that I'm called to do rather than my feelings. I believe more in all the things that I'm assigned to say rather than things that could be perceived as limitations. Meaning, I believe more in the power of God than I do my excuses. What excuse have you made, and how has that helped you in life? What excuse have you made, and how has that positioned you for your next? What excuse have you made, and how has that brought your business to a place of greater profitability? I'll wait for you to tell me how it's helped you. Mm, mm, mm. So, as we come to an end, here are some things that are audacity killers. Audacity killers. I know. Audacity killers, they come when we have that little bit mindset. I'm going to do a little bit and test it out. So a little bit mindset would mean I would have been disobedient and did the 1 day live when I'm supposed to do 5. A little bit mindset means it's okay for me to be complacent and to do this in a comfortable way. That's that little bit. I'm gonna just try a little bit. That's an audacity killer, right? Then the other piece is you think it's optional. hmm You think the thing that you are called to do, the thing that you are purposed to do is optional. And you think it's optional because you keep making excuses as to why you can't do it. You think it's optional because you're not showing up to do the thing. You think it's optional because you haven't created the time and curated the time to execute. And it can't be optional if it's an assignment from God. And you're wondering, you're calling things warfare when it's really you fair. Woo! You're calling things warfare when it's really you fair. And I'm not talking at you, I'm talking with you. I thought through this, I'm living through this, and I'm managing this, right? It's the reality. Then here's another audacity killer. You have an outside outlook rather than an internal insight. Another audacity killer. You have an outside outlook rather than an internal insight. So rather than you approaching things by saying, Lord, what is in my hand for me to use? You go and you look outside and see all the reasons why you can't use what's in your hand. Instead of you saying, Lord, what is in my hand to use? You look on the outside and see all the reasons why you cannot use what's in your hand. It's an audacity killer, but not anymore. Why? It's my time, it's my moment. And here's a hack. Here is a hack. This is the thing that's going to give you that uncommon speed. The hack is you need wisdom and insight, not only to know what is in your hand, but how to use what's in your hand in that season. You need to not only know what is in your hand, but how to use what's in your hand in that season. If you think about that rod that Moses had, it was a snake. Like, first of all, we're not even gonna bother that. It was a snake. Then that thing parted a whole sea. Huh? Huh? But in one season, it had to be a snake. In another season, it was parting a sea. So that means that you need wisdom, strategy, and understanding on how to even go about using what's in your hand in every different season, because you might have to pivot. Man, if y'all with me, type "it's my moment, it's my time" in the chat. Woo, it's my moment, it's my time. Here is another Audacity killer: preparing not to perform. That means you have a mindset of lack going into things. That means that you've abandoned the promise and the enemy has stolen your belief. So you're not really showing up in the way that you said that you would, in the effort that you would. And here's the thing: reality is that storms are going to come and it's going to try and take down our momentum. But are you willing to fight for the best version of you? Are you willing to fight for everything that's for you, assigned to you, promised to you, that is supposed to be delivered to you? Say, I want my stuff back. I want my stuff back. And so before I open it up for even more questions, I have a question in the chat that says, how can you work with me? If you want to know more information about that, putting the link in the chat, you can go to the link in my bio and it's on the screen. Linktree, jmooreiam, right? Resources, or go to iamandmore.com. That's the way that you can work with me and get more information. Any questions about building up your audacity, about showing up unapologetic? Earlier, when we had the question come through of like, how did I navigate it? I started taking steps. I stopped moving in my own strength and I let perfection go and was okay with progress and doing the best to get to excellence that I could. Questions. I already took two. Mm, mm, mm. All right. All right. So tomorrow, when you show up, look, abundance mindset. When you show up, we're talking about the capacity to carry what you're praying for, the capacity to carry what you're praying for. And we're going to be dealing with the pain of transformation. I know that's the stuff that we don't talk about. Like, we can say that we have to have the audacity to show up. We can say we're taking back our permission slips. We can say it's my time, it's my moment. We can say, may my life never be the same. But then we have to be willing to go through the process of pain, of sacrificing some things, of letting go of some things, of not being able to go some places, of not having life as normal, so that we can lay hold to all of the things that are ours. Some food for thought. Now, y'all sure y'all ain't got no question? You sure y'all ain't got no question? Okay, if you do have a question, head to the link tree, jmooreiam, or head to iamandmore.com. All right, so I'm gonna say a quick prayer of us. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for being in the midst today. We thank you for everything that you designed for us. We just say we surrender to you. We give everything that we think we know, because we know nothing, because you are omnipotent. And God, we just ask that you show up in our lives in ways that we could not even imagine, that we would have that Ephesians 3:20 life, that we would actually become those Ephesians 3:20 type of people. God, how Gideon became a soldier and a warrior. God, build us up in that capacity to show up, God, not only for ourselves, but for you and for the people that we are assigned to. So we thank you for allowing us to be here and be gathered another day. And we thank you for the increase that's coming. We thank you for the influence that's coming. We thank you for the visibility that is coming. In Jesus' name I pray. It is done. Y'all, it's been great. I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last night. And then on Friday, we're going to move over into the morning time. It's my time. It's my moment. May my life never be the same. And because of this, there will be an uncommon approach with an uncommon grace that brings uncommon speed. You get to decide whether you have it, though. See y'all later.